suspect that most of you who tune in here with some frequency would consider yourselves to have embraced an evidence-based way of living and thinking. I suspect that in this day and age, most people think they embrace an evidence-based way of thinking, even those, or perhaps especially those, who disagree with people like you and me. But to some, evidence, or more accurately, its requirement and supremacy, is a real bummer. If evidence holds top rank, then clearly there is no need for belief or faith. And where's the fun in that? Unknown and unknowable speculation is far more comforting and, frankly, entertaining. Still, such people often think their speculations are justified, evidentially. With the age of faith dead and buried, everyone prefers evidence, clinging to it however fragile or fragmentary. Indeed, the goal of modern apologetics is to make believers think that there are good reasons to embrace the speculation, however much they're forced to twist the definition of evidence unrecognizable. Even then, most of the people who do that, who strangle the word of all meaning and fundamentally disagree with someone like me about that meaning, will still laugh at someone defending whatever speculation by saying something like, "Well, I saw it on Facebook." And yet, over the last month, we've been looking at Capturing Christianity's video about why God won't heal amputees, in which he says,
as Dr. Craig Keener notes in his massive 2-volume work on miracles, restoration accounts of limbs are rare, but they do get reported.
Now, that's not exactly, "I saw it on Facebook." There is at least a book involved, 2 in fact. And one would imagine that Cameron would have grabbed hold of these 2 massive volumes to check these reports for himself. But this is the best he could do in terms of an endorsement.
Now, I'm not saying that these accounts are true. They may be true, they may not be true.
So a mere claim or report is good enough for Cameron, so long as it supports what he already believes. Other claims, other reports are nonsense, obviously. Keep this in mind because, as his backup, actually as his topper, Cameron points us to the resurrection of Jesus to support his belief in miracles, an event for which we have not even a single eyewitness account, or anyone on record who personally claims to have seen the physically risen Lord. One of the go-to apologetics for the resurrection among Christian apologists is called the minimal facts argument. And I suspect by now you won't be surprised to know that not one of the facts offered is actually a fact, but rather a claim, an unverified report made anonymously by third parties who weren't there, written decades later. For some folks, what you and I would call an unverified claim or report is a fact, and therefore evidence. Were such silliness limited to questions of religion, I probably wouldn't care too much. But there are some very practical consequences, which absolutely should concern us all. If you're prone to such a complete lack of rigor, if unverified reports are all you need, you will be an easy mark for all kinds of nonsense. As I was writing this piece, audio was leaked of Steve Bannon talking just days before the 2020 election about what he calls Trump's strategy, should he lose the election.
And what Trump's going to do is just declare victory, right? He's going to declare victory. But that doesn't mean he's the winner. He's just going to say he's the winner. If Trump is losing by 10 or 11 o'clock at night, it's going to be even crazier. No, because he's going to sit right there and say they stole it.
But that doesn't mean he's the winner. He's just going to say he's the winner and say they stole it. To those people for whom evidence is not required, the folks for whom mere reports and claims are sufficient, that was all it took. Fast forward to the attack on the Capitol, to hundreds of people being arrested. People who believed this bullshit are now going to spend years of their lives in prison. Untold numbers of friendships have been ruined, entire families destroyed by these reports, these unverified claims. People died. One insurrectionist threatened his minor children, telling them he'd murder them, his own children, if they gave him up to authorities. Hashtag family values. And the worst part is when evidence isn't valued, when it's not required to support what you believe, no quantity or quality of evidence will convince you of something you don't want to believe either. So there's no remedy. That's as lose-lose as it gets. The question then becomes, can a species given only to its own wants, dismissing reality and ignoring the encroaching existential threats all around us, belong for this world? Evidently not. Hashtag downer. I'm sorry. Once again, I'm me. Thanks for watching.